So I just rolled out of bed and I was looking through the comments on that last video, and I couldn't help but laugh because you guys have proven the thoughts that I've had about the internet for a long time. Because one comment will say, you need to take this video down. You're attacking Scru with false narratives. This isn't fair. Another comment will say, you're defending somebody who likes kids. And both can't be true. I can't be attacking somebody with false narratives, but also defending somebody that likes kids, right? And yet that's the perception that people have because they came into the video looking for validation for their feelings. I'm not here to validate your emotions. Just because you saw some shit, you made a decision on which side you wanted to be on, and then you come into a video looking for somebody to validate that, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna do that. That's not what I do with any of my videos. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about your soft, fragile mind. That's not what I'm here for. I will always play out a video looking at every single angle and at both sides because that makes sense. For anybody looking to come in here for a pat on the back for the way that they already feel and to parrot your thoughts, you're in the wrong place. You need to just click off my video, go find somebody that just plays up one side, and that's probably gonna be the content that you're looking for. I'm looking for people that want to look at all of the angles, and you might leave still feeling like the side that you came in on is the side that's right, and that's fine. But I'm here to present you all the different sides of an equation. Like this could be what it is, or it could be this. People are looking at it like this, but this could also be the truth. That's what I do. If you don't like that, because again, you're looking for validation for your emotions, I'm not the YouTuber for you. So don't get upset. You don't got to go crazy and type down below. You should just exit the video and go to your niche of the internet where everybody there thinks the same way as you and they can validate your feelings so you can feel better about yourself. That's probably what you should do. Now, as far as Scru's response video, I feel like it was a horrible response video. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that he should have took more time to plan out what he was going to say. And the reason why I say that is there's multiple times in the video where literally a minute or two apart, he contradicts what he just said. And then he also uses the Twitter search function to try to prove his innocence, except he doesn't understand how the Twitter search function works. But I'm going to go through and just kind of break down everything the best that I can. I'm sure, again, some people are going to stick around that want me to validate their emotions. I'm not here to do that. I'm going to talk about things based on the facts. And now that he's responded, I can go a little bit deeper to everything because now I know what he thinks about it, which allows me to break stuff down in a different way instead of just looking at what we're seeing online. So let's just jump into the beginning of his video. And I think the best way to approach it is I'll just put myself down here in the corner. We'll watch pieces of the video. We're not going to watch it all in full, and we'll talk about little parts here and there.
Now, when I first looked at this tweet, I was like, what? So I don't fault anybody who had the same reaction when they saw this. But as I looked at it closer, I realized the mistake I made. I meant to say a girl over the age of 18 without kids, that's sexy as hell. Now, in 2012, I was tweeting, throwing it up. Nobody knew who I was. I wasn't even looking at it. But I realized that I made a huge mistake. And I know what I was trying to say, but I know what actually was said.
So right off the bat is just a little bit weird to me because he's like, I looked at the tweet and I was like, what? And this is one of the tweets that he tried to say wasn't a real tweet. And then he goes on to say, oh, I meant to say over the age of 18. But because I wasn't known back then, I didn't even look at my tweets. I just typed stuff up and then I just ran with it. I feel like it was better that he just went with, I'm 19, 20 years old. I said some dumb shit. I think that that would have sounded better. To claim that you meant to put over when it's not even in the same placement on the keyboard, but you put under, it just doesn't make any sense. Like he started off making it seem like he didn't even remember the tweet himself. Like he was so blown away by it that he was convinced it was fake. But now he all of a sudden is like, oh, I know what I meant. I didn't mean that. I actually meant over the age of 18. It's like, yo, that shit's like a decade old. You don't remember what you thought when you tweeted that. I'm sorry. There's no way that you remember what you thought when you tweeted that. So right off the bat, I feel like I knew that we were going to go down a bad path with this response. Before we go forward, though, I do want to say the only reason I'm not going through the entire video is because some of his explanations do make sense. Like the whole box isn't good until you're 18. Like I'm not really concerned about that tweet. So I'm just going to stick to the ones that I feel like there was some weird shit around. And these I actually didn't think there was anything weird about at the time. Because I said as young, he could mean somebody around his age, maybe a year or two younger, which is all legal and it's right around the same age range as him. So it's not that big of a deal. But then, to be honest with you, the way that he explained it in this actually made me question it. So I'm going to let him talk and then I'll tell you exactly what my thought process was.
You got young bitches in the boom boom room. How many and how old? LOL. It's this summer. It's F these O's. Now, I think what might be happening with this one too is people might be reading this as 33-year-old Scru tweeting this, but it wasn't. This was 20-year-old Scru tweeting this. And at 20, we was young niggas, what you would call today YNs. So we was looking for the young. When I'm saying young there, I'm not saying younger. I'm saying our peers, not the old bitches, right? And the reason why I can say that is later on in the tweet, I say how many and how old. That was an important part of it, how old. If I did not care about that and I was just smashing anything, I wouldn't ask that.
So the way that he explained that tweet was kind of what I thought, where I don't know what he means by young. It could be around his age, a year or two younger, and at that point, they're all in the same age range, so I don't know that it's a problem. And when he asks how old, you can look at it meaning like he's looking for young chicks, so he's asking how old they are because he wants them to be young, but you could also say that he means how old because if they're under a certain age, he's not interested, right? Like, we don't know. There's no context to tell us that, so that's why I didn't lean on that tweet. The problem with this is he also shows the tweet below it that says, shout out to all the ninjas lacking enough game to pull chicks of age. One big room full of young bitches, LOL, sad but true. Now, in that tweet, the context of young bitches is clearly meaning girls underage because he's shouting out people who can't pull chicks of age. So when I see that context, I'm like, all right, so does he just change what young bitches means? Like, in one, it means people his age, and then in another tweet, it means people that are younger than him? Because, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that makes the last tweet that he just explained properly sound horrible. And so I'm not saying that that means that that's what he meant by all of this, but I just feel like throwing these two tweets together and then explaining that it's all about the context behind young bitches, and then the next tweet shows that the context of it is a chick underage, it just doesn't look good. Again, I don't know that it means anything, but that was the first thing that I picked up on. And then suddenly those tweets that I thought were harmless, I now have to re-question because I'm like, well, in this context, you're using young bitches to mean underage girls. So how can I differentiate when you mean that and when you don't? Now, as far as this tweet here that he's claiming that he didn't actually tweet and he tries to prove why he didn't actually tweet it, I just feel like it falls flat because he doesn't know how to use the Twitter search function. And I'm going to show you guys what I mean by that, but I'm going to let him explain first.
Not going to lie, gang, I miss freshmen. Might have to request a 5th year in high school. Okay. I'm going to tell you something. I didn't say this. Never said this. And I'll give you a pretty good example or evidence. I got the smoking gun, but I got this right here. Not gonna lie, gang. This is supposed to be 2011. Nobody, well, let me not say nobody. I was definitely not saying gang in 2011. I think whoever made this tweet tried to type like me and talk like me, but didn't take into consideration that I don't talk the way I did when I was in 2011 to when I'm 33.
Now, he might be right about this because I don't know that he said gang back then. If you look it up, you can't find a lot of tweets where he uses gang in that context. But at the same time, he's deleted so many tweets and nobody was looking for any tweets outside of these crazy ones that he could have went and deleted all of that to create his argument. Now, I'm not saying that's what he did, but I have to point out that that's a possibility, right? And he also said that a lot of these tweets weren't even real. And the very first tweet, which is the one that we talked about at the beginning of this video, he was trying to say was a fake tweet. And then he went on to admit it in this video that it was real, right? So once you've lied about something, it's hard to believe that you're telling me the truth about other stuff. I feel like that's just common sense, right? If someone lies to you about some shit, you're probably going to be less likely to believe other stuff that they tell you because you know that they've lied to you now. So I can't say for sure that he never spoke this way, and that might actually prove that he never really made this tweet. But at the same time, I can't believe what's real and what's not because there's tweets that he lied about that he's now admitted that he actually posted. And so I don't know what he's deleted. I don't know. I have no idea.
Twitter has this feature. Notice that it doesn't say deleted tweet. I didn't delete anything, so it should still be here. Twitter has this feature where you can find all tweets if you didn't delete them. And even if you did delete them, they will still be around for a little bit right after.
So pay attention to the fact that he said, even if you delete them, they may still be around for a little while after. because Twitter's cache system and the way that it deletes, there's times where it's immediate and there's other times where it might lag behind because of whatever reason with the API and there's issues and stuff, which is why sometimes you'll see tweets that say this tweet was deleted or post was deleted or whatever it is that it says, which he's going to talk about later on. But he just kind of validated the reason why some of his tweets may have stuck around and people took a picture of them. But then later on, he's going to try to use that to claim that these can't be real tweets because what are the chances that they happen to see them and Twitter hadn't fully deleted them yet? So this is where the contradictions kind of continue to come in, where he's saying one thing, but then trying to use the opposite side of that to defend himself later on. Now, in this situation, he's not searching Twitter properly. If you search on Twitter at username with words after it, Twitter is not going to actually look for that specific tweet. It's going to look for people that are replying to you because in every reply, even though you don't see the person's name, you're technically posting their at and then talking to them. That's how a reply works on Twitter. So when he posts at ScrewfaceJean, not gonna lie gang, it's only looking for responses to his tweets that have those words in it. So if nobody responded to that specific tweet and said any of those words, none of their replies are gonna show up and his original tweet is not gonna show up.
Not gonna lie, gang. Now that alone with the at is enough to pop it up. Notice it wasn't deleted. Did not say deleted tweet. Some of these fake tweets do say it. Now look at this. Look at this. You can slow it down if you want to. Go look at this.
So if I take a tweet that I made today where I said social media is dumb and I go to the search function and I put at I am Dwayne TV and then I paste my entire tweet, social media is making us dumb, which is exactly what he did. And I search it. And this is a tweet that I didn't delete and it's still in the system. And I go to latest. There is nothing available for it. If I go to top, you're also not going to see my tweet. And the reason why is because I put the at there. As soon as you put an at there, it's only looking for people that replied to your tweet that included those words. Now, if I remove everything but dumb and I search it again, I'll see one of the replies to my tweet, which was my man Tim, who stops in the live streams, who says, we are making ourselves dumb. Social media is just the TV. We choose what channel. Notice that it highlighted the word dumb. That's because it's looking for replies given the fact that I put the at in the search bar. If I click on his tweet, I can scroll up and I can see my tweet. Now, if I go back and I remove the at and just put I am Dwayne TV and then I repaste in my entire tweet, social media is making us dumb, and I search it, it's going to pop up my actual tweet. So the way that he was searching it, it just doesn't make sense because it would have never popped up his tweet even if he didn't delete it. Now, I'm not saying that he did this on purpose. I do think that he just doesn't understand how the search function works, and he figured like, hey, this is proving that I didn't actually do that, except he didn't use it properly. So I'm not necessarily saying that that means that he definitely tweeted that because there's no way for anybody to prove it. It's really just become a he said, she said thing, and a lot of that is because he deleted a lot of the tweets. So we don't have any way of knowing if this is another tweet that he deleted and we just can't find it because the only thing we have is a screenshot and nobody thought to screen record it, or if he really didn't tweet it and somebody made it up. There's literally no way of proving it. So it's up to you to just make up your own decision based on all the other stuff that's going on, whether or not you want to believe him. And the fact that in the very beginning, the tweet about if they're under 18 and not pregnant, it's sexy as hell, is a real tweet that he's now admitting, but at first said it wasn't real. It's hard for me to believe him because I feel like you've lied to me one time and I can't just go into believing you now every time that you say something else.
Just seen a group of girls that I'm assuming are still in high school. All I'm gonna say is they didn't look like that when I was 16. Now, mind you, this post says the post was deleted, right? So whoever screenshotted this, right, apparently was so on this that they screenshotted before it deleted. Like they knew to go to this tweet specifically. Like I don't even, and you might say, oh, well, that could happen. It's low chance, but maybe they caught it right. Okay, cool. So I want to ask you something. Now, after 5 to 6 drinks, them skinny bitches will do anything you want. Now, mind you, Academics TV had me blocked, right? Unblocked me miraculously at this day, just to tweet this, right? Okay, cool, right? Notice how this nigga throws a steak out in there too. That's crazy. Notice how this says this post was deleted also. So that would mean, because he also posted the one I just posted before, Do you know what that would mean? How is that even physically possible? So, were you scrolling? Like, did you have like two tabs open and you just happened to screenshot both of these when they were deleted? You didn't get the screenshot before they were deleted. You don't have the tweet before it was deleted, but you have both of these screenshots. So somehow I was deleting them as you were finding them and catching them. That don't even make sense. Twitter has this feature where you can find all tweets if you didn't delete them. And even if you did delete them, they will still be around for a little bit.
Now, as far as his argument, I'll be honest with you, I was actually on his side because I thought that it says this tweet has been deleted. So I had to look up and try to find other tweets that were deleted, but also screenshot. And I found one from Elon Musk. I actually found a lot of them from Elon Musk where it says this post has been deleted. So it's not outside of the realm of possibility that people happened to find it as he was deleting them, because you figure as the first few started to surface, he probably found out, started to look around to find more that he could delete, and people were also at the same time searching for more evidence that they can use against him. And in the process, you're going to come across some that he might be deleting so fast that the Twitter API isn't keeping up with it, and so it takes some time to actually remove it from the system, which is why you end up with a situation like this where it says this post has been deleted. What I can't seem to find is more information as to why this happens sometimes, like why the API lags behind. Is it because it's a much older tweet? Is it because the engagement on it is so high that it takes time to remove everything, or what the situation is? There's nothing I can find that gives me like a 100% reason as to why some of them show up like this and some of them show up just completely deleted and you can't see anything. But it's like he's not wrong that there is a chance that people could be faking those, but at the same time, his argument isn't really valid, because even with the owner of X itself, you see a bunch of his tweets where it says this post has been deleted. So other than that, there's not really all that much to talk about. We touched on all the parts of the video that I felt were important, and it doesn't really give us an answer. Because like I said, we're at a point right now where a lot of it is he said, she said. Now, there are tweets that he admitted are true, and you're able to make up your decision on that. And I know a lot of people are probably upset because I haven't strongly picked a side, and you want that validation so badly. But if you've made it this far, then I assume you're a logical person, and you wanted to see both sides of the argument and see what I had to say. And in this one, obviously, I was more so debunking some of the stuff that he said, and that's really just what you do in a response video. And I get this, some people are upset because they so badly want to call everybody a pedo. I just refuse to do that because I haven't seen evidence besides a couple of crazy tweets when the man was 19 or 20 years old that shows that he's actually doing that shit. It's not very often that you have people tweet a couple of things at 19 or 20 years old. They're interested in kids, and then they never do anything else ever again. It's an illness. It's something that they can't get away from, and at some point, they're going to expose themselves. And if he hasn't done that again in all these years, I'm not gonna sit here and call him some name over some crazy tweets. Like, I saw people on Twitter saying, yo, we need to go and report his YouTube channel. I don't agree with that. I just don't feel like we have enough to be like, let's ruin this man's life over a couple of tweets, especially if there's no proof that he's ever done anything like that. So I just, that's where I stand on it. Do I think he's goofy and weird? 100%. I even had some people in my comments say, yo, you must have been paid from academics because you're trying to put all these things on his name that aren't true. Bro, I think academics is weird too. And I made a video about him the same as I am about Scru. I don't care about any of these people on the internet. I don't know any of them. None of them pay my bills. None of them support me or put me on or do any of that stuff. I built my channel on my own. I don't care about anyone. I'm not trying to make friends with people online. None of that shit is my focus. I have my group of friends that I've made, and that's it. Everybody else, honestly, just suck my shit. Like, that's where I'm at with it. So I'm going to make videos and I'm going to talk about things as logically as I can because I feel like it makes sense to give all sides of the story. And I also feel like it makes sense to debunk shit that just isn't true. And there was a lot of that in this video. So that's why I did it this way. And if that makes you upset, I don't know what to tell you. It has nothing to do with how I feel about him because I was probably the only person in the beginning that was willing to look at both sides of it. And I'm someone that you'd assume would just jump in and just try to bury him. But that's not what I want to do. I still feel like he deserves to have his platform. He worked hard for it. But at the same time, I think he's weird as shit. I'm not going to follow him or subscribe to him. And if you choose not to, I applaud you in that. But I'm not going to go out of my way to try to ruin somebody. I'm just going to make a video and talk about a topic. So that's what I do. If you don't like that, don't watch my shit. Stop bothering me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that simple. So that's what I found when I went through this. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'll catch you in the next one.